Greetings everyone, and welcome to our presentation, as it says, the electronic plague. Many of the Google searches nowadays suggest that mobile radiations are not harmful when we say otherwise. Stay with us as we present how mobile radiations can lead to obnoxious diseases such as even cancer.
Before we get into further details, we need to get familiar with the origin. Waves involve the transport of energy without the transport of matter. Waves can be of three types: mechanical wave, electromagnetic wave, and matter wave. Electromagnetic radiation refers to the waves of the electromagnetic spectrum, and they can be categorized into ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. Generally, when people hear the term radiation, they are thinking of ionizing radiation like X-rays and gamma rays. Ionizing radiation carries enough energy to break chemical bonds, knock electrons out of the atoms, and cause direct damage to cells and organic matter. By contrast, non-ionizing radiation does not have enough energy to break chemical bonds or strip electrons from atoms. In fact, ionizing radiation carries more than 1 billion times more energy than does non-ionizing radiation. A little ionizing radiation can be used to produce X-ray images for diagnosis, and a lot of ionizing radiation is needed to kill cancer cells in radiation therapy. However, non-ionizing radiation do not give significant damage initially, and the waves that come from devices are non-ionizing radiation. Then how do you think it affects us?
Whilst a virus infection is highlighted, the nation runs towards a bigger problem. The COVID-19 outbreak has initiated the period of exposures to these radiating devices in every household. Each individual smartphone has grabbed the tendency to inject direct harm of these radiations to our skin, though public health data shows no association between the exposure to these devices with temporary health hazards. The reason why devices don't seem to have a harmful effect is because of the cancer's prolonged time period to develop. Radio waves are very insignificant to damage our body cells. On this account, this effect, which outbreaks after a period of few decades, is taken lightly. Kids are more vulnerable because of their heavy usage of devices in this modern era without taking any precautions. An experiment with human sperms being microwaved had resulted 3 times more damage than the unexposed ones.
How often do we see people use an electronic device at least a minimum of 2 hours and not get tired or end up with eyes that beg for sleep? Have you ever wondered why do they feel fatigued even though they're not actually being active, rather just sitting in one place? Well, the logical answer to this question is the after effects of radiation from screen time. It is similar to pouring water on a rock. Hour after hour, as you continuously pour water on it, the rock slowly disintegrates and eventually reaches its original form. Prolonged exposure to screen radiation may be responsible to the risk of cardiovascular disease. It may also cause a burning sensation, redness, fatigue, and headache. The radiation emitted by laptops, computer, and computer components radiate extremely low frequency electromagnetic radiation. Intensity of the radiation coming from these may be low, but as the user is much closer, it may produce health problems. Radio waves are considered not to damage human cells right at the moment, but which with prolonged use can eventually harm body cells and cause cancer. The case is different with infants who have weaker skulls and thinner skin.
After being briefed with information that suggests that radiation of phone causes stimulation of cancer, you must be wondering how do we stop this, which is why we also have solutions. We can use wired Wi-Fi instead of wireless ones because instead of waves in air, it flows through the cables. We can avoid carrying our phone on our body. If we do use it on our body, we can use airplane mode. Airplane mode can cut off receptions that attract radio and microwaves. We can avoid holding it against our head during call because then waves travel right through the head, which can be critical if prolonged. It's better to use loudspeaker or headset. We can avoid using phones in bad reception areas. We can keep SIM-accompanied phone away during sleep. We can keep phones or laptops a bit further away from the face during online classes because not only will it reduce eye problems, but also the radiation is greatly reduced. We can use blue screen cover over laptops or on mobile devices to reduce radiation. We can use spectacles to reduce eye damage. We can ensure sufficient nutrient supplement, and since all cells are made up of proteins, high protein intake is necessary to compensate compensate for damage to cells, if any. We can exercise daily to ensure body activity and consequently assure that body cell growth and repair is at optimum rate. We can use this product called Smart Dot to neutralize radio waves and microwaves by magnets, which can be found on Amazon.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
being
being
with
with
us
us through the
through the
presentation.
presentation.